Hello students. So in the previous classes we have studied about the difference between that of the compound, mixture and element on the basis of their different properties, including that of the Tyndall effect as well as that of the Brownian movement, or as well as about their particle size which are responsible for the these effect. Okay. As well as we have studied about the concentration of the solution and how with the help of the equation we are able to find the concentration, including the mass by mass percentage, that is also known as mass percentage, volume by volume percentage, that is the volume percentage, and as well as mass by volume percentage. We came to know about that how solubility will get affected due to change in the temperature and the pressure. By increasing the temperature, the solubility in case of the solute, it increases, while that of the gas it decreases. And when there is an increase in that of the pressure, the solid will remain unaffected, while that of the gases it increases with that of the increase in the pressure. Okay. Now today we will talk about a thing, and that is the separation of a mixture. So before we start, we should recall one thing, that is when we were talking about the mixture, we came to know about mixture, that when two or more material or substances, they are mixed together randomly it means without mixing without any fixed proportion by mass, as well as when they mix together, you see there is no change in their chemical composition. Okay, it means they do not combine together chemically. Okay, so in case of a mixture, they do not combine chemically, there is no change in the composition. So if there is no change in the chemical composition of the mixture, then there will be no change in their properties also. Okay, means they will retain their own property, their original property. While if you see, if they are carrying their properties with them and they are not chemically combined together, it is very easy the mixture to separate from each other. Okay, so these can be separated by the physical mean. Okay, so today we will start with the separation of mixture. Now see here, the various constituent of the mixture, they are having different physical properties. Okay, including when we say the physical mean also, it means it is having a different physical properties also. So physical properties such as density, its solubility, size of particle, behavior towards that of the magnet, how volatile it is, it means how volatility, as well as that of the boiling point, and many more. Okay, and the difference in the physical property of the constituent is used to separate them from the mixture. It means their physical properties are responsible for making them, or for separating them from each other. Okay, so what are the different ways of separating the mixture, or what are the various physical process by which we can separate the constituent mixture? They are magnetism, it means by the help of the magnet, then filtration by using filter paper, then centrifuging, evaporation, okay, decantation, extraction and evaporation, that is the same thing, evaporation. Okay, then chromatography, distillation. Here distillation is divided into two, that is distillation, as well as we will study about the fractional distillation too. Then crystallization, as well as there is another method that is known as separating funnel. Okay. So these are the different ways, different physical process which are used to separate the constituent of mixture. Okay. Now see, when we separate the mixtures, basically there are the three cases by which we can separate the mixtures. Okay. So the three cases for the separation of mixture are, the first case is mixture of two solids. Okay, when two solid are mixed together, okay, like that of the salt, it mixed together with that of the baking soda, or when a salt is mixed with that of the sand. Okay, so you see here the sand as well as that of the salt, both are solid component and both are mixed together with each other. The second case is in which the mixture of two liquids are there. Okay, when both of the components, like that of the oil and water, when oil and water, they are mixed together, that is the two kind of a liquid, and both of them are liquid. So here example is cup of olive oil and cup of vinegar. When vinegar and olive oil are mixed together, that kind of separation of the mixture, that kind of a mixture is basically mixture of the two liquid. Third one is the mixture of solid and that of the liquid. Okay, so this one is very common, in which like that of the sand in an aquarium which is full of water. Okay, so these are the three cases by which we can separate the components from each other. If suppose a mixture of two solids is there, so what are the different process by which we can separate the both of the solid from each other? What are the different components by which we separate the two liquids from each other, and what are the different separating techniques we use so that we can separate the solid from that of the liquid. So these are the three cases. So let us start with the first case, and that is mixture of two solid. Okay, when we talk about the mixture of two solid, so all the mixture which is consisting of two solid substance, they can be separated by different means. The first one is by which it can be separated by using a suitable solvent. The second one is sublimation, and the third one is magnet. Okay, so these are the three methods, three process by which we can separate the two mixtures which are mixed together, which are present which are present together or which are mixed together. Okay, now we will start with the. Now see here, you can see when a salt is mixed with that of the baking soda. So when both of them, here salt is also a solid and the baking soda is also a solid. When both of them are mixed together, you can see the particles, they arrange themselves, they get mixed together. So here the salt as well as that of the baking soda is present. So this is the mixture of this two solid. Like that, we can take an example of a sand and salt. So the first case, when we were talking about that of the suitable solvent or sublimation or a magnet, the first case is of suitable solvent. So we can separate the two solid component which are mixed together by using a suitable solvent. Okay, solvent, it means a kind of a liquid. Okay, so what we will do, when we talk about the suitable solvent, one constituent of a mixture is soluble in a particular liquid solvent, whereas the other constituent is insoluble in it. Okay, and the difference in the solubility of the constituent of a mixture can be used to separate them from each other. Now see here, when we started, we were talking about that we can mix the different component of the mixture on the basis of the physical property. So by using a suitable solvent means that if two components are present there and one component is there, when we mix the both of them together into a solvent, okay, into any kind of a liquid, either a water or anything else, the one component out of two will get dissolved in it, while the other will not get dissolved in it. So one is soluble in that particular solvent and the another one is not soluble in particular solvent. So by this process, by using the suitable solvent, we can separate the both of the solid component from each other. How? We can take an example of a sand and water. Now you can see here in this picture. This is a picture in which a salt and that of the sand. Sand plus salt. Sand and salt, both of them are mixed together. So you see, what is the property of a salt here? How can we separate? Most of the time this question is asked that if a mixture of a sand and salt is given there, how can you separate them from each other? So this salt is having a specific property and the sand is having a different physical property. So here we will use the suitable solvent to separate these two from each other. We know that salt is soluble in water while sand is insoluble in water, and the difference in the solubility of the salt and sand is used to separate them. The difference between this physical property between these two of the component make us easy to separate them from each other. So what we will do, these are the mixture, this is the mixture of a sand and salt. Then what we will do, at first we will take the mixture of the sand and salt and mix take that mixture of sand and salt in a beaker, and then we add water in it. Okay, we will take the mixture in the beaker, then we add the water in it. After that, the mixture is stirred with the help of a glass rod, and while stirring, then what happened, the salt which was present in that of the sand, which was present with the sand, it get dissolved in the water. Okay, afterward what happened, which portion will remain undissolved? It is the sand. Okay, so what we had done here, we had taken a sand and a salt together in a beaker, and then we add water in it. Since salt is soluble, so it will get dissolved in that of the water, and sand is insoluble, so it will remain undissolved in that of the water. Okay, so here you see, this is a mixture of the sand and salt plus water. Then what we can do, how can we separate this sand from this salt? Then we will separate the sand. We will take this solution which is consisting of the salt and the sand as well. The salt containing sand is filtered. Okay, we will filter it by pouring over a filter paper. Okay, so we will filter this whole solution of the sand and salt mixture in that with the help of a filter paper, by keeping a filter paper which is kept in a funnel. So what happened, when you filter it, the sand will remain on the filter paper as a residue, while the salt solution, it is obtained as a filtrate in a beaker. Okay, which is kept below that of the funnel. So here what we had done, we had taken the mixture of the sand, salt, water, and we had taken a conical flask here of funnel is there. This is a funnel, and a filter paper is used in this funnel. So when you pour this solution over this filter paper, then the sand will be we will obtain sand as a residue on that of the filter paper, while the salt solution is obtained as a filtrate in a beaker which is kept below that of the funnel. After separation of the sand by the process of a filtration, we will take the salt solution which is obtained as a filtrate, and we evaporate. We give heat to this of the salt solution. By evaporation, the water it get evaporated in the form of a water vapor, while sand will again remain as a residue in that of the china dish. Okay, in which we had collected that. In which we were evaporating that salt solution. Okay, so at first we filter that sand, salt and sand water together, and with the help of a filter paper, and the salt solution which we obtain as a filtrate, we will evaporate. We will take it on in a china dish, and when we evaporate it, the water it get evaporated while the sand will remain in the dish. So by this process, we can separate a mixture of sand and salt from each other. Okay. Now we will see the another type of a mixture, and that is of a sulfur and a sand. So student, you see here, this yellow color substance is sulfur. And when this sulfur mixed with that of the sand. So in the previous one we had discussed about the mixture of sand and salt together, and with the help of a solvent, that is water, we can separate the sand and salt from each other. So in this case, sulfur as well as that of the sand, both of them are insoluble in water. Okay, both of them does not get dissolved in the water. So which solvent is suitable by which we can separate that of the sulfur and sand from each other? So basically we know that this sulfur is soluble in carbon disulfide solvent. Okay, so when we take this sulfur and sand mixture in a beaker and dissolve and add this of the carbon disulfide in it, what happens? The sulfur it gets soluble in the carbon disulfide, while the sand which is remain insoluble in the carbon disulfide also will get settle at the bottom. Okay, so by this process we can separate the sulfur from that of the sand. So we will take this sulfur and the sulfur and that of the sand by dissolving it in a carbon disulfide. Sand will not get dissolved, but the sulfur it get dissolved in it. So this is another kind of a mixture of a sulfur and sand, by using a suitable solvent we can separate them from each other. Then the next one is that if suppose you take a mixture of a sugar and a salt. So you see here, salt and a sugar, both are almost having the same property. So you see here, what kind of a solvent we will use them to separate them. And you know that salt as well as that of the sugar, both are soluble in water. So if we take water, both of them get dissolved in it, and we were not able to separate the sugar and salt from each other. So which solvent we should take? Alcohol. So alcohol is that solvent which help in separating the sugar and salt from each other. Now see here in this picture, you see in a salt, if we take both of the glass salt, and in one of the glass we add water, and in the another glass we add alcohol. So when you add that of the water in the salt it get dissolved in it, it gets soluble in that of the water. But if you dissolve the alcohol, the salt it does not dissolve in the alcohol, it remain insoluble in alcohol. So by this we can understand that how can we separate the sugar and salt. So in a mixture, if a salt and a sugar both are present, then we will add the alcohol in both of the mixture. So the sugar it will dissolve. Sugar is dissolved in alcohol. So sugar will get easily dissolved in the alcohol, and since the salt, it does not dissolve and it is insoluble in alcohol, so by this process, by using this suitable solvent, that is alcohol, we can separate the mixture of a sugar and salt. So this is the first one in which the two solid component can be separated from each other by using a suitable solvent. Now the second process by which we can separate the solid and solid component from each other, that is the process of sublimation. Okay, so sublimation is what, as you can see here, the changing of the solid state directly into the vapor on heating. That process is known as a sublimation. Like in case of a dry ice, you can see here it is a dry ice. So in dry ice, when you keep it, when you provide heat to that of the dry ice, that will directly get converted into that of the gases without undergoing to the liquid state. Okay. So sublimation, we can say that it is the changing of a state, solid state, directly into the vapor on heating, and the vapors they again came back to the solid state on cooling is called the sublimation. So it is here both of the thing occur, that is the solid heated get converted into gas on giving heat, and again the same process occur when gas cools, it again become solid. Okay, so sublimation is a process in which both the things occur. When it get heated, it get converted into the gas. When it get cooled down, the gas will convert it into the solid. Okay. So the solid substance which undergoes sublimation, that is known as sublime. Okay. The solid substance like that of the dry ice, when it undergoes sublimation, that is known as sublime. And the same solid substance which we obtain on the cooling, after cooling, which we obtain, that is known as sublimate. Okay, so when we heat the solid substance, when the solid substance undergo the sublimation, at that time it is known as sublime. And when the solid substance which we obtain after cooling, the vapor, and that is known as sublimate. So sublimation is the another process of separating the two solid components from each other. Now we can understand with the help of an experiment. Now see here, in this experiment, you see the process of a sublimation, what is the basis of the separation of the two components. The process of the sublimation occurred to separate those substances from the mixture which sublimes on heating. It means if suppose we want to carry the process of the sublimation, the out of the two solid substance, one of the substance it must get sublime when we provide heat. It means it must show the process of sublimation when we provide heat in it, and that kind of a substance, it includes like that of the camphor or naphthalene or ammonium chloride or iodine. So you see here, these are the These are the substances which can be recovered in the form of a sublimate by cooling their vapor, and which sublimes on heating. So when we want to separate the two solid component, at least one of them must get sublime when we provide heat to it. Okay, so most of the solid substances there which do not undergo sublimation also, and some of them they get sublimation also. So the substance which do not undergo sublimation, they can be a common salt, they can be a sand, they can be iron filling and chalk. So if you keep it, when you heat it, the common salt will not get evaporated. Okay, the sand, it does not get evaporated on heating. So these are the substances which are non-sublime, and these are the substances which are sublimable. Okay, these are sublime on heating. Now in this experiment, if you take that of a two component in which one is sublime on heating and another is non-sublime on heating. Suppose you have taken a mix that of the camphor and that of the sand together, or if you have taken the ammonium chloride with any of the non-sublime substance with it, or any kind of impurities in it, then how can we separate them? So at first we will take the both of a component, both of the that of the ammonium chloride, and so if this ammonium chloride is present with that of the any impurity or with any of the other non-sublime solid component, then how can we separate it? We will take that of the solid non-sublime solid with that of the ammonium chloride and keep it in a china dish. Okay, and this china dish will be kept over a stand under which a burner is there to heat it, and on this china dish we will put an inverted funnel. Okay, and this inverted funnel is there so that the ammonium chloride will get evaporated and get be present on the neck of this funnel. On this funnel, at the neck of the funnel we will put a cotton plug also. So what is the role of the cotton plug? We know that the when we give the heat, this sublimable the sublime substance which is present in this china dish, it will get evolved in the form of a vapor and move outside. Okay, so by which we cannot separate it, the both of the solid component, we will not obtain that of the sublime substance as it get evaporated. Okay, so we will take both of them here and we put a cotton plug on the neck of this funnel. Now what we will do, as we give heat to this china dish, this substance, the ammonium chloride with that of the non-sublime substance, then what happened, this ammonium chloride, since it is sublime, it shows the process of sublimation, so it get converted into the ammonium chloride vapor. Okay, so from the crystal of that ammonium chloride, it directly get converted into the vapor without undergoing the phase of the liquid state. Okay, so as it get vaporized, and finally it get stick on the neck of this funnel. Okay, so it get vaporizes here, so due to heat it gets sublime. So here sublime is the ammonium chloride, and as it moves ever, what happened, the temperature lower down at the neck of this funnel. Okay, here the temperature is more, but here the temperature is less. So as it moves upward, the temperature lowers down, and due to that this ammonium chloride vapor, it again solidified on cooling, it's solidified, and this ammonium chloride gets solidified and stick on the neck of this funnel. Okay, so the ammonium chloride will remain at the neck of the funnel, What about the non-sublime compound? The non-sublime substance, which does not get converted into the vapor when we provide heat to it, it will remain in the china dish. So you can see here the substances which shows the process of a sublimation. It can be separated, it can be present at the neck of this funnel, it can be obtained from here where it finally gets solidified. It means again take its original condition. And here the non-sublime portion, like that, if suppose we have taken a salt or a sand with that of the ammonium chloride, so any of the salt or a sand if we are taken, so that of the non sublime substance will remain in the china dish. So by this process we can separate the two solid components from a mixture. But here again I am repeating, the condition is that one solid substance must sublime, must show the process of sublimation on heating, and the another will not show the same process. Okay, so by this process we can separate both of them from each other.